Well, the top tip, if you don't want to bring lots of toilet roll with you, let's save one of the inners and just bring wrap a load, fold it. You can just fold in halves and halves and halves and halves, but make sure you keep the end so that you can see the end, and then you can undo it. And brilliant, because the card will protect it, and then because you never know when you might need it or what for. Believe me, I've been stuck sometimes. And ideally a plastic bag with you, or a bag that you can bring any rubbish back home with you. Well, my plan was to either do the route that I've just been on, going round up to the right there, or come up here and join it up. So actually, I know this doesn't look very nice at the moment, and I don't know if it's going to get nicer, but I thought I'd come up here anyway because I've still got a bit of energy. I've lightened my rucksack by drinking my tea and coffee and eating my sandwich, so I'm a bit lighter. And so I'm just looking at the sign here. This is some, but they're all the same way, aren't they? You're not allowed down that way. I mean, they haven't said, but they have said you can go that way, but they haven't said you can't. I mean, one of the things about doing that, for those of you who like going down paths, is that the people who own the forest could be doing stuff, like they could be on a deer cull, or there could be a shoot going on, or they could be doing some logging. So you're here usually, but if you're like me and you get there early, you may be there before the noise starts. So bear that in mind. Oh, this is giving my legs some work. Now I think this is just going to be a path, so this is almost ideal for I'm sure you must see looks in my eyes when I spot things. Or don't spot things and fall into them. Little channel through there. I do often wonder what caused these channels, whether they dug out for the road or I don't know. Maybe I'll have to do a little bit of research on what was here, because we are in the vicinity of various Ministry of Defence places. The reason I've said it like that is kind of trying to think how to describe them. They're not now, but they were. So I always wonder about stuff, you know, because it doesn't take long for nature to take over. Anyway, I'll deal with that another time, because I've just thought, you know, I said I lived near 11 in one of my videos. I can't remember which one it was. Well, I think I didn't count this one, so that makes 12. Anyway, there's a nice little view through there. I'm not going to go there because my plan was to go up this track, so we'll go up this track and then come down it. I know it's going to be, it's one of those, but it will look different on the way down. Well, it might not, because I may tell you anyway. Ooh, well, that's nice through there. More coppice. Yeah, what I wanted to discuss is something that will be, well, let's start even further back. Because basically there are a number of reasons why I started this channel, and I can't launch straight into them because as I was planning it and working through, I realised that I'd need to put some background in, because otherwise there are things that aren't going to make so much sense. Wow, I love that. Anyway, this is basically about the news and media and manipulation, and here's how I learnt. Back in the mid-70s, there was a lot of strikes for various things. I mean, looking back on it now, I think there was a massive conspiracy to destroy the unions and the people, you know, and the workers, and give them no rights, basically. I think that's what was going on in the kind of one little thing at a time, creeping footsteps. Join up the dots. Like, for example, roads, you know, they build a big road, but people protest too much, so they only build a little bit of it. And then another 20 miles away, they'll build another one, do the same. And then eventually there's all these little dots of roads that will one day be joined up. And that's the theory behind it. So all these strikes happen. We used to have like power cuts, water cuts, I don't know what other cuts, because, you know, I was a child, so. And there's the view that you haven't been able to see yet. Anyway, so all this was going on, and then one evening there was a knock at our door, and it was a television crew, and they said, "Oh, we hear your water's off." And my parents said, no, it's fine, it's not been off all day. They said, "Oh, that doesn't matter. Can you come and take some water from this standpipe?" And they brought a tank, and I was asked to do it. I mean, I was only about 10, probably 10 or 11 maybe, and I said no, because I didn't want to do it, because it was a lie and I wasn't going to bullshit. You know, my parents knew this about me. They wanted to send me to a private school, so I told them in no uncertain terms that if they did, then I would be running away. And they obviously got that. And it was true, because that's what I would have done. So sending me away to private school would have fucked me up completely. So I said, no, I'm not going to do it. So my father did it. And it was broadcast on the news, and it was just a complete lie. Well, the next time, and there's been a few times when I've actually been on the television and mentioned, but anyway, that's not the subject of this. So if we come a bit further forward, and this is another story that's bigger and kind of links with all the Stonehenge thing, but this one's quite important, so I will repeat this one again in another video, but I'm going to do it now just to highlight what I'm trying to say. Well, there was a Stonehenge. Now, it was, I think it was 1998, because it was, I think it was the year before they were letting people there. I think 2 years before, a year before. I think, yeah, we went in 2000 with the kids, so 1998, yeah, for sure. And there are a number of videos now, and a number of things I want to say now I'm thinking about. Anyway, so what happened was, a friend of mine who I used to live with came down with his kids, and we thought, what a great idea, go to Stonehenge on solstice with the kids. They're magical, you know. So we said, well, why don't we go and suss it out in the afternoon, see what it's going, you know, see what it looks like, and then we'll see if we go or not. So we went, and we paid to go in, so we actually went round Stonehenge. And as we were waiting for my partner to go to the toilet, we were stood at the entrance to where the old car park was and where the Stonehenge Festival used to take place. And we were there, and I could see this bloke, and the reason I noticed him was because he reminded me of a friend of mine. And I watched him, plain clothes, dark, maybe dark navy clothes, and he was guiding various vehicles and instructing them. And I did find it, something in my head went, oh yeah, what's he doing? What's going on? And then while we were doing that, while that was all going on, above us was the police helicopter, and you could see the camera they had underneath, and it was just hovering and pointing at us and filming us. We weren't doing anything, we'd paid to come in, my partner was having a piss. And anyway, so we drove off and we went back home, and we were thinking, you know, do we, don't we? And we decided that we wouldn't go, not with the kids. It just felt a little bit dodgy. So we went to Avebury instead. He didn't take his children, but I took my son, who, you know, just loves going to Stonehenge and solstice. It's, you know, something we had in common. And if you've seen the other video, I think I came out over there and we had a look round here. Now, there's a nice bit of a view here. I'm going to wander up here until I think that's the road there, that line of trees, so I'm not going to go much further. Now I can't figure out where my view is, where I'm looking there. Oh, it's Morgan's Hill. Let me zoom in, let's see if I can get her. Right in the centre shot now. No? Alright, I'll go in further. There you go. Right in the centre of shot, like a little caterpillar on the hill. That's Morgan's Hill. That's where I went and did the walk on the Ridgeway and Wansdyke and the Baltic farm barrows and stuff there. That's literally where we were. So we go to Avebury, we watch the sunrise. Well, my camera cut out just after I said the last bit. So the next day I went and got a newspaper because I wanted to see what was written. You know, I wanted to check out the propaganda And God, I couldn't believe my eyes. There on the front page of every single newspaper, front page, big picture, the classic Stonehenge picture of the stones, and on it a load of blokes being deemed hippies. And I recognised two of the blokes. One of them was the bloke I've just been talking about, who was guiding everyone in, and the other one was a little man who I shall explain about in another video. So that got me not believing the news, you know, after the original incident, but this one particularly. So now I'm very careful to listen to how things are worded and to analyse pictures as well, because you can use a stock picture against anything and say what you like underneath, and everybody assumes that what you're saying applies to the picture, when all it is just a picture. And there are other things, like for example on adverts when they're selling shampoo and they say for healthy looking hair. Now the crucial word in there is looking, not healthy hair. It just looks healthy. It isn't, it just looks healthy. So be aware. There are other little tricks used as well, you know, other little things to, it's almost like magnetism and hypnotism. If you say things enough, people start believing them. It's like when you've got squealing brakes where your anti-squeal shims are slightly loose or worn, and you're going really slowly and you come to your final stop and the brakes go wee. Well, if someone's walking across the junction or near you, they jump as if you're driving really fast and have slammed on your brakes and have gone into a skid. It's using that. People are programmed that things mean what they mean, and I don't think cartoons have helped, but there you go. Anyway, that's me rambling. Yeah, it says makes your hair look healthy, but what it says is, it doesn't say it's going to make your hair healthy, it just makes it look healthy. And that's basically how you read subtext. Like, for example, the most recent one I've seen is all these people that have died with COVID-19. They haven't died from COVID-19. That's just another one. I mean, you look out for it yourself and you'll see it. So yeah, so that's why I view the news differently, and this has been for most of my life because of being able to spot a lie. My bullshit detector is on a hair trigger. I can smell bullshit, I can smell a scam, I can smell lies. Some are good, but you know, you have this thing, there's a little tiny, sometimes it's only small and easy to ignore, but try not to. Listen, once you spot that little thing, because believe me, it doesn't last for long. Like for example, that's a rose. Like for example, you get a phone call from someone and they say, oh, I thought it'd be nice if we meet up and go for a meal. And your instinct's like, oh no. And then they say, you know, how you doing? And they go, so where shall we meet? And of course you've forgotten about that inner feeling and you meet up and it ends up being a really shit night. That's what you need to listen for. Anyway, thank you for listening, watching, and be aware. See you next time. Ta-da.